right, welcome to a new D&D podcast. We are the Adventuring Adventurers, and this is our first episode. We are four friends, John, Gabe, Josh, and myself, Todd, who all decided to start an epic D&D adventure called Hot Springs, and then record it as a podcast. It should be noted that Josh, Gabe, and John have all been playing D&D for the better part of a million years, and they are all experienced dungeon masters, whereas I have never played before. So this should be interesting. I'm going to pass it over to Josh now to give us some background on Hot Springs, what it is, where it came from, and then we're going to go ahead and start the game. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy this podcast as much as we've enjoyed playing it.
So the game describes itself as a powder keg. There's a mix of 7 factions, 87 NPCs, several dungeons, 300 unique treasures, 448 random events. You guys are the spark that makes the whole thing into this beautiful, terrible explosion. This game is by Jacob Hurst, Gabriel Hernandez, Evan Peterson, and Donnie Garcia. It was released for pay what you will during the COVID-19 pandemic, so I really appreciate that. I was always trying to check it out, and I never wanted to take the plunge, and the pay what you will let me check it out, and I became just fucking huge fan of what they put out.
Hot Springs. Let the game begin.
Your past does not matter. About a year ago, you were black-bagged and thrown into a cell, a dark cell. They said you deserved it. There was a list of allegations. You could recognize the voices of people that you knew testifying against you. Or at least you thought you could through the hunger in the dark. It wasn't right and it wasn't fair and it didn't matter. What matters is that it happened, and here you are. After sitting in the dark for 6 months, a door opened, and an impeccably clean person, wearing black pants, black boots, and a bright coat of yellow saffron, offered you a deal. Redemption. The Martell Company needs recruits. It would be hard work and dangerous, but there would be treasure, and you could buy back your good name in time. They beat you, but they fed you. They beat you harder, but they gave you equipment. They beat you till your bruises bled, but only if you didn't obey. And they were fair. For 6 months, you hauled rocks. Big-ass rocks. Rocks that were stuck in the mud, in the middle of rushing rivers, and you became really good at that one thing. For 6 months, you just thought, how can I get this thing over there? And you became an expert at it. You were not alone. You don't know how many others there were in total, because everybody came and went so quickly, but the 3 of you were placed on a hauling team, and you guys became family. You slept together and bathed together and even watched each other shit. Maybe you became friends. Maybe you hate each other. Doesn't matter. Trust was beaten into you by the Martell Company. Martell Company is essentially this world's equivalent of the East Indian Trading Company, but with their evil turned up to 11.
Yeah, that's where I was going with it in my mind.
Nice.
A week ago, you got onto the ship, and it said the ship was bound for the Swordfish Islands. Men and women in yellow coats lined the rails of the ship and beaded crossbows on you. Those that tried to escape were shot and no one flinched, not even you. Onto the back of your left shoulder was a brand, a magical brand, just literally glowing with magical energy, was pressed into each other's shoulders, and it felt icy hot, and the skin around it is taut but healing. And when you look at each other's backs, you see this M brand surrounded by saffron flowers, which is the heraldry of House Martell. Then a man in a yellow jacket told you the deal. You belong to Martell now, and you've been brought here to haul. Haul gold, haul statues, haul art and treasures that you can't even comprehend. The more you haul and return to us, the quicker your brand will fade. We control it. I can't tell you how much you need to haul, because it's tied to your crimes, which are despicable, and I think that you've had plenty of time to reflect on them. So now, let's pay your debt to society. You don't need to haul. You're free to choose. But in time, if you don't, the brand will consume your flesh. And then he brings up this naked man out of the bilge of the ship. He looks fucking terrible, like a zombie. And as he kicks him onto the deck of the ship, starting with the brand, his body just crumbles like it was made of cheap plaster. And all of his guts just fall in a splash onto the deck of the ship. And then you guys set sail. away from the port, away from the old world, away from your lives that you knew. And then the storm hit. When we join you, you guys are in the midst of a terrible storm, and the ship is just being totally side blasted by waves that are rushing up onto the deck. Storm is cracking around you, and looking up, you see air elementals like swarming around the black clouds. Rain is pelting you. You're soaked through. The three of you are on the deck of the ship, each doing some chore. Can we go around and say who you guys are, who you guys were, what you look like, and what you're doing on the ship during this terrible, terrible storm?
Sure. So, I'm Togi. I'm a dwarf. I'm the son of Helva and Broki. Barrel-chested dwarf, thick arms, stoic gaze. His beard's kind of knotted up into a bunch of different little metallic beads and braids. And on top of his head, he has this set of like welder's goggles that's pushing back a bunch of unkempt dark brown hair. And currently, he is doing anything he can to hang on, but he was moving things from place to place and securing cargo. Also, any type of repairs that needed to be done on the ship, that's his specialty. So that's what he would be working on. But now with the storm, he doesn't like being on the water. He's not a big fan of anything that doesn't involve earth underneath his feet. So he's been holding onto the rail pretty much the entire time.
Makes sense. That's awesome.
My name's Ansley, and before, in the other life I had, I was a map maker, a cartographer. I'm really good with drawings and knowing the lay of the land, and actually learned how to survey really young, and just took to it really well. Really, everything I do is to the betterment of that, is to the betterment of learning the land around me and recording it so that others can learn from it. I'm about 5'11"-ish, brown hair, brown eyes, kind of rugged looking. Not handsome by any means, but certainly weathered. I don't know what I'm wearing on this ship currently. What am I wearing on the ship? Whatever they've given me, I suppose.
Yeah, that's up to you to describe.
Sure. I'm a slave. Is that correct?
Yeah,
indentured servant.
Indentured servant.
I'm pretty sure you're just wearing a bag.
Right? It's a rucksack that's just got holes in it for my arms to stick out of. It's yellow for the house martel.
Nice.
So I've learned my cartography skills is pretty much what I do, and I was a guild artisan. That's where my pride is. I put all my pride in the work that I do, and I'm a perfectionist. I'm really good at it. And I have no idea, contrary to those others that believe so. I don't know how I got here. I don't recall doing anything, but here I am, and one day I'm going to get off of this thing, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to show the guild that I'm better than they thought I was, apparently.
It's awesome.
Nice. My name is Honut. I am a dragonborn bard. I think that makes me about 6.5 feet tall. I don't know how tall normally dragonborn are, but I think I'm pretty tall. I look like if Zac Efron was a dragon, I think.
That's awesome.
I am here specifically because I was sleeping with the magister's wife, the mayor's wife,
Sure.
the councilman's wife. I am
All of them?
all of them.
Same time.
It was a hell of a night.
It was a hell of a night.
I am proficient in many, many instruments. That's what I went to school for. It is my passion in life. With that being said, I'm also, let's see, what else am I? Yeah, I also really like the ladies. Yeah, and I'm currently moving rocks from here to there. I don't know why there's rocks on the ship, but I'm really good at it.
Ballast. Let's keep the ship in the sea.
Yes, I'm trying to balance the ship so that the storm doesn't knock it over.
Okay. Awesome. So as you guys are like holding on and doing your damnedest with everybody else to keep the ship is called the Wind Proud. And in defiance of its name, the wind is like cracking the mast. The sails are lowered, obviously, and it's just listing terribly through the water, essentially at a 45-degree angle. And then through the midst of the storm, you all look up and see towering above you this gargantuan figure of a golden crab rising up out of the waves, as large as a castle. And the lightning illuminates the golden plates on its gargantuan frame, and it lifts like 3 of its 8 legs, and wave bowls you over, and the ship capsizes, and you all taste salt and feel the cold trickle of water as the crush of the waves come down on you. And you know no more until the next day.
All right, so that wraps up episode 1. Thank you so much for listening. Episode 2 will be coming soon.